trust a corporation, you look, and it'll tell you what it actually is. So you just created a person.
Oh, shoot.
You just birthed a person.
Right on.
Yay.
Look at him. He's like, what is going on? What is he talking about?
That's why you have the veil of like between you and the corporation. The company that you just did. Because literally the government system looks at it, that Rayo brand LLC looks at it as an actual entity, of the actual, like, not living, breathing person, but an actual person. So when you're when it's doing business, it's talking to that person. You're talking on behalf of that. You're giving that thing life. So,
Gotcha.
And it's crazy. Right now it sounds like nonsense, right? But it is nonsense. You're gonna find out that it's like more nonsense than you could possibly imagine. But it's awesome because once you know how the game's played, you can literally create all these little entities that protect you, where you can put like all this, you can put all this debt on that person, unsecured, give whatever you want, and then, oh, never mind, dissolve it, and all that debt's gone, and they can't do anything. They can't go after you. They can go after the Rayo brand LLC, Limited, Incorporated, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Right now it's just a LLC, and then I'll probably elect for the S Corp.
Yes. Yeah, I think you have I think 5 years to do that.
Okay.
It's easier if you did it right away.
Yeah.
But it's actually not that bad.
Okay.
Doing it now, you're gonna end up doing a Schedule C little thing that has your expenses and everything like that. Just go. You're gonna pay more for a CPA. You're gonna pay $500 to $1,000 for a CPA every year, but they're gonna save you thousands and thousands of taxes. Then you'll do that Subchapter S, and then it becomes even more confusing. But you can write off a lot more taxes, so
okay,
it'll be good. Like I just got a new business credit card or whatever, and it's unsecured. You guys know what unsecured is? You know what unsecured is? You know what unsecured is? All right, dudes. Now I know what we're talking about. Cool. So it's funny because I don't even know like what I'm going to talk about in these things, and some of this is pertaining to business. Some of it's probably not. Who knows? But it's good. Like a lot of people don't know this, and you guys are the business. You guys will end up using my business stuff maybe 2, 3, 4 years from now when you actually run your own businesses, and you're like, dude, that guy helped me so much. It all comes back around in some fashion or another, or we'll end up doing business together. So I don't like. That's why I don't really care what we talk about. But so for example, we're talking about credit right now, and loans and things like that. Secured and unsecured. Unsecured is like the king of loans, but they're harder to get, and you can't usually get as much from it, right? As far as how much of lending you can get. Reason being is unsecured means that there's something behind it, like a house or a car. It's collateral, right? So if you don't pay up, you're losing your house, or you're losing your car, whatever. Unsecured is basically your signature. It's your word. It's your guarantee that you're going to pay back the thing. So like a credit card is an unsecured. As soon as you write your signature on that credit card application, money appears out of nowhere. And they lend you that money that just appeared out of nowhere whenever you want on a revolving line of credit. So what's really giving that thing value is you. It's your signature. It's just the way our system works. It's kind of dumb, it's kind of retarded, but it is what it is. And so when you can get more unsecured lines, especially with business, because now not only are you, it's not just a personal line of credit where they can try and come at you personally, now you have a business, they have to come at the business, plus it's unsecured, they have nothing except a guarantee from you as like the member of the business. You can literally you can do as much as you want with that line. And I'm not saying to go and just put a bunch and then dissolve your business or whatever, but you can. And there's really not anything they can do. Because you gave them value anyway. It was your signature according to the way our system works. So what I do is I'll get a ton of unsecured business lines of credit, and it's like they're like, hey, here's $100,000 to play with, or $50,000 to play with, or $25,000 to play with, and you just go play with it, and do the sweep thing that I had mentioned before, which you weren't here, and I don't know if you were here, but anyway, and you just do that until if you run into any trouble, then you can just dissolve your business. It's the way the system works, man. It's okay.
With that line of credit, I mean, are you supposed to be doing like business expenses and like show like what are you doing with that money? How are you going to be paying it back?
They don't. So technically, you're supposed to do. It's a great question, by the way. You're supposed to be doing business with your business lines of credit. Well, what's a business expense? Business expenses could be a lot of different things. So, us being here, if I bought you all these drinks, we're marketing, this is a business expense. But if I were just out on my own doing nothing, then this isn't a business expense, right? So, are they going to be able to prove anything that you didn't spend that as a business expense? Probably not. That's what the IRS is there for. And so, you agree that you're going to use it for business expenses, but in reality, are they going to be able to do anything about what you spent on? No. Like my car, I just got that car, the Tesla, and that I put into my business, so it's owned by the business. I'm my wife and I, I'm a member of her business. She's technically I think she's employed by my business, so maybe not. Anyway, she's able to drive it, I'm able to drive it, and if anything happens, all the liabilities on the business, if anything, it's always, everything's based around the business, so if I can't pay, they're going to go after the business rather than me instead. This is why I tell everybody to incorporate. If you're thinking of starting a business, start an LLC, and you're going to understand why in just a second. Start an LLC, because you don't really have to make money. I'm not a CPA, this is not financial advice, this is not, any of that. It's educational purposes only. The way it works is, let's say you make $50,000 a year. Okay. At the end of the year, you make $50,000. Right now, how much of that $50,000 is the government looking at to tell you how much to pay taxes, or how much taxes you owe?
Profit, right?
No, you don't make any profit, right? Let's say you're at a salary job, you make $50,000 a year. How much are they looking at to say we're going to tax you X amount?
Isn't it like 30% of your check you take out?
30% of what?
The gross year.
What's your gross income?
Whatever you made hourly? Or
if you make $50,000 a year, what's your gross income?
Probably. All right, making 50 grand take home.
Gross is, let's say 50,000. So gross is.
Oh, so they're actually taking home like 30.
So what they're saying, what they're saying is that you made $50,000, so we're going to tax you X percentage. That's all the government sees. The government's like freaking a zombie itself. It's a big bureaucratic thing. They see literally. There's no negotiating, so to speak. This is what it is. You just have to find out how to beat the system. So, the government sees that you made $50,000, so immediately they're going to tax you at whatever percent and take from you. When you incorporate, though, when you run your own business, even if you're not going to make any money off it for the first year to 3 years, you don't have to. I mean, when you run a business, most people know that you're not going to make money in 3 to 5 years. You're not going to make a profit. But what happens is, say you're making $50,000 at your place of business, and now you just incorporated, and you spent $10,000 doing what you're doing here. You going helping Art over here, and you had to, you bought your drinks and everything you would normally do, but it was $10,000 worth, but you classified it as a business expense. Now what is the government looking at in regards to how much? So you made $50,000. You didn't make anything in your business, but you wrote off. You said, "Hey, I had $10,000 in expenses for my business, and I've made $50,000 in salary." How much are they going to look at now to tax you? 40K. Okay. So even if you're not making any money, now you have business expenses, your cell phone, your home office, quote unquote, however big you want your home office to be, your drinks, your it depends on what you're classified as. So my structure, I'm able to write off Halo and Jiu-Jitsu, right, as a health benefit to my employees and stuff, and to me, which I'm an employee of my own business, which doesn't make sense either, but it is.
You compare yourself to salary.
Yeah, I do. It's funny, I just got pinged to do that. I pay myself a salary that I don't even cash. It's just literally because the system tells you have to do it. And so I started my, I don't know if any of you know my story at all, but I started like an IT business because my wife wanted to stay at home, and I needed to figure out how to do that. I had just gotten back from Operation Iraqi Freedom, spending a year and a half away from my family, and I'm like, I ain't doing this crap ever again. So I'm like, I'm gonna start my own thing. It's gonna be awesome. And so I ended up incorporating, doing an LLC, and the first year, so I was working at Boeing. I forgot how much I was making. I want to say at the time it was about $50,000 at Boeing, and I was paying like 30% in taxes. So it was a lot, like every year, and it was crazy. So I incorporate. I started doing like IT work. I literally within a year made like $100 because I sucked. I was horrible. I was horrible at marketing and sales and everything like that. And the following year, I did my taxes, and I did like TurboTax or whatever, and it said 1% that I owed from the $50,000 or whatever that I made, and I'm like, this can't be right. What the hell? And so I did it again, and then I talked to like one of the professionals, and they're like, oh no, yeah, you got an LLC, yada yada and everything. No, that's right. I'm like, why didn't I do this like years ago? This is crazy. So
It's not taught.
you're not taught, right? I mean, of course, like nobody teaches these crap like this. And so that's when I was like, oh, this is nuts. This is cool. And so I put like on my W-4, I did all of the exemptions you can, like 9 instead of, now most people do like 0 or 1. I do 9, so they took out as little as possible. You don't want to do where you don't pay anything because it flags you. But like I was getting more in my paycheck like every month, every 2 weeks and everything like that. And then I'd still get stuff back at the end of the year. I'm like, this is freaking cool. And it's literally, dude, because you're taught in school to be a good worker, and the workers are the ones who pay taxes up front. Like I don't pay any taxes like up front at all. At the end of the year, I'm just kind of like calculating, okay, how much is the minimum I need to do at the very end of the year, and you get to invest all that money up front. that you would have paid in taxes. You get invested in other things. So when money comes in, immediately it's going back out into like real estate, jets, things like that. Like it's like you want to go as far, you want to do as much as possible with that money, because it's like based on the Bible. Like you don't want to hoard. The more you try and hoard money, just like the parable of the talent, the one unfaithful servant who buried his coin and did nothing with it, he got friggin' whipped and all that other stuff, and then that coin was given to the one who risked like 5 coins, right? You have, like, our money is made to move, so you take all that stuff that you save taxes wise, you put back into like camera systems. And here I saw when Art showed off his camera, I'm like, that's awesome. That's exactly, like, you put it back in and it just starts compounding and stuff. So